right. So, Rev Wayne Stills, this mic is all yours.
Hey everybody, how are you? What's happening? It's River Wayne Stills from Miracles Everywhere. It's good to be here. It's great to be here, of course, on Tuesday, 12:30 show, and I'm Eastern time, and hope things are well with everyone. We're going to start out with a little wah, W-A-H, with an exclamation point. Wah! And the name of this song is called Om Namah Shiva.
Shivaya Nam Lesson 23. I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. The idea for today contains the only way out of fear that will succeed. Nothing else will work, everything else is meaningless. But this way cannot fail. Every thought you have makes up some segment of the world you see. It is with your thoughts, then, that we must work, if your perception of the world is to be changed. If the cause of the world you see is attack thoughts, you must learn that it is these thoughts which you do not want. There is no point in lamenting the world. There is no point in trying to change the world. It is incapable of change because it is merely an effect. But there is indeed a point in changing your thoughts about the world. Here you are changing the cause. The effects will change automatically. The world you see is a vengeful world, and everything in it is a symbol of vengeance. Each of your perceptions of external reality is a pictorial representation of your own attack thoughts. One can well ask if this can be called seeing. Is not fantasy a better word for such a process, and hallucination a more appropriate term for the result? You see the world which you have made, but you do not see yourself as the image maker. You cannot be saved from the world, but you can escape from its cause. This is what salvation means, for where is the world you see when its cause is gone? Vision already holds a replacement for everything you think you see now. Loveliness can light your images, and so transform them that you will love them even though they were made of hate. For you will not be making them alone. The idea for today introduces the thought that you are not trapped in the world you see, because its cause can be changed. This change requires, first, that the cause be identified and then let go, so that it can be replaced. The first two steps in this process require your cooperation. The final one does not. Your images have already been replaced. By taking the first two steps, you will see that this is so. Besides using it throughout the day as the need arises, 5 practice periods are required in applying today's idea. As you look about you, repeat the idea slowly to yourself, and then close your eyes and devote about a minute to searching your mind for as many attack thoughts as occur to you. As each one crosses your mind, say, I can escape from the world by giving up attack thoughts about.
Insert here.
Hold each one in mind as you say this, and then dismiss that thought and go on to the next. In the practice periods, be sure to include both your thoughts of attacking and of being attacked. Their effects are exactly the same, because they are exactly the same. You do not yet recognize this, and you are asked at this time only to treat them as the same in today's practice periods. We are still at the stage of identifying the cause of the world you see. When you finally realize that thoughts of attack and of being attacked are not different, you will be ready to let the cause go.
All right, everyone. How you doing? Let me just make sure that my mic is working well before I get into this with you guys, because everything seems to have gone a little bit haywire here.
Yeah,
And
you sound good to me.
oh, do I? Good. So, how you doing, Lynn?
I'm doing really great today.
Yeah,
Feels like spring for some reason.
you know,
So,
here too. It's like 40 degrees here, which is a heat wave.
man,
You
time
know,
to get out and plant some
it, it,
flowers.
it's like 0 degrees. It's been 1 degrees here for like a week, 2 weeks, and now suddenly it's like 40. And so it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. This has probably been so far this year as it started. The lesson that this year. It's not always my favorite lesson, but this year has been my favorite lesson. I'm not sure why, but it just hit me is what I've been working on and what I've been it's a great lesson and it covers so much in terms of I mean the opening of the lesson itself. I mean says it all in terms of they take God taking the pressure off. It reminds me of that quote. I've said this quote before. I mean, to others who, and I may have mentioned it before on the air here. But one of the quotes from Jesus in the New Testament when he says, my burden is light, my yoke is easy, follow me. It's sort of like what the guy he keeps doing here. Every time he opens his mouth, he makes things easier for us. And the first thing he says here is the idea for today contains the only way out of fear that will succeed. Nothing else will work. Everything else is meaningless. But this way cannot fail. Ah, well, that's kind of cool, right? I mean, it's not like it's a 10,000 page report either. It's one page, and you'll have the only way out of fear.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because it seems so simple and yet try doing it.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, but I'll tell you, I started doing it was actually kind of cool. I mean, you notice that but first of all, if you read further, one of the first things he says also is don't worry about trying to change the externals. Worry about your thoughts. Don't worry about it. Just change your thoughts. And I found that attack thoughts are very, very small. The attack thoughts aren't so big. It's not like I have attack thoughts. Oh, I want to wage war on that country. You know what I mean? Or I want to destroy whole groups of people. It's little things like little things like even things that I wouldn't consider to be attack thoughts. I realize that they're attack thoughts. Little things that I wanted to I wanted to talk to my wife about something, or I wanted to get my kids to do this, or that was an attack. Because in truth, I was a little bit scared that this would happen, or that would happen. You know,
yeah, it comes out
and
of fear when you're feeling fear. Um, then you can see this is the reflection of that. So, I mean, it really is just a matter of looking at those thoughts and asking, where did you come from?
you find that everything is really an attack thought. Because what if you is in the cause that you see if the cause of the world you see is attack thoughts, you must learn that it is these thoughts in which you don't want. And there's no point in lamenting the world. And this is, I think, is unbelievable. There seems to be somewhat of a debate whether or not you should engage the world or not, but this is not debatable here. There is no point in lamenting the world. There is no point in. If you don't lament the world, then everything's going to be okay. You'll be fine. You'll be peaceful. There's no point in trying to change the world. It is incapable of change. It's incapable of change because it's merely an effect. But there's indeed a point in changing your thoughts about the world. That's what I was saying the other day about when I changed my thoughts about my wife. I mean, it's like sometimes thoughts have changed for you by you on a conscious level. When I first met my wife, and she told me to clean up my room, clean up the room. The room was messy. It was we were living in, and she said, "Can you clean up this room? It's a little messy." I heard my mother. I heard my mother saying that to me. I responded as though it was my mother. I didn't see my mother saying it, but I responded subconsciously as though it was my mother. That was my viewpoint. Because my mother and I always conflicted over how I kept my room growing up. She wanted to. She used to say to me, like, I want this room to look like no one lives in it at all. I said, well, I do live in it. We go back and forth, back and forth. And then over time, I realized that this is just my wife, and she wants a room cleaner. It's not my mother, and I have no fights with her about this. So it was like that, and then everything changes, and the world changes for me in that particular area. And that's what he's saying here. Take charge of that process. Make it conscious. and change your mind about the world. Don't lament it. Don't complain about it. You know.
Well, yeah, and in fact, if you don't accept it the way it is, you're not going to accept anything the way it is. You're always going to find fault in everything you see. You're never going to accept every things as being perfect the way they are. So you're always going to be seeking, seeking, seeking for something else. And there's nothing else to find. So, why not love the one you're with?
Yeah. Yeah. The whole new spin on the song. Yeah, I hear that song, there's so much 70s sort of free love attached to that song, and free love and so much such a sexual uh, um, uh, uh, energy attached to the song. But really, it's just about really just loving people. That's all it really is. It's just about reaching out and loving people, as you were just pointing out. You know, it's about loving people, and no matter who you are, who you're with, and then reaching out to people no matter who you're with, on any level. And then the love is there's only one type of love. In truth, there's only one love, and it manifests on different levels depending on where you are on the scale. So on the scale of love, on the if you can imagine a love scale, and there's lower a vibe scale, if you will, love vibe scale. And there's lower vibes and there's higher vibes. And lower doesn't mean worse, it just means more, I don't know, what's the word, more physical, more dense, more structured. The dream is longer. This dream is just longer than right now. It's just much longer. We spend more time in this dream. And so it becomes more real to us. We think it's more real, but it's way longer. So we see more of each other. It's easier to get bored, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think about that song, Steve Stills, when he wrote that song, he was I think in London or something. He was away from his family, away from his girlfriend, away from all the people that he loved, and he was homesick. And that's what the song is about. I can't be with the people that I love, so I better love the people that I'm with. And
Uh,
isn't that us? We're homesick.
sure.
We are thinking that we're separated from, our brothers and
What a
family
wonderful thing. Yeah,
reality. So, it is truly love the one you're with because it is the Christ, no matter who it is.
absolutely. What a wonderful way of looking at it. Instead of looking at it like I was reading this YouTube video the other day, and someone was complaining about the idea that how does Hitler go to heaven right before he went to heaven? He said, I believe in Jesus. And the person next to Hitler, who never believed in Jesus, but she was a nice woman, goes to hell. And the guy who answered the question said, well, you have to understand we're all Hitler in Christianity. And I said to myself, well, I see his point, and I see her point, obviously. I said both their points. But we're all Hitler means we're all really evil. Well, as compared to, and I see that, and I can see I understand the point that he's bringing up. But then you said it's so much more sensible. We're all homesick, and we're all devastated, and we're all totally just screwed in the head. We've all gone insane, perhaps at worst. But no one's Adolf, and Adolf Hitler is a little bit too homesick, I guess you could say. But nobody is really the Adolf Hitler that people are thinking of when no one's evil per se in the way that he was implying when he said we're all Hitler. What a much nicer way of saying things when you say that we're all homesick, devastated, and then he comes up with this nicer way of this alternative, the Holy Spirit's alternative, to love the one you're with, as opposed to just getting all sadder and sadder and weepier and caving in on yourself.
Yeah. And the whole thing about Hitler, we don't recognize that we made Hitler, and we're making Hitler every moment that we're judging against our brothers. And that's what this whole lesson is about, is, stop stop the madness, stop the the judgments and the attack thoughts, because the world I see is a result of my attack thoughts. I can escape from the world I see by giving up the attack thoughts, because the world I see is made by my attack thoughts.
Exactly. This
You
is so
wouldn't
cool.
think that.
And, no, you won't, because most of us don't know what tax laws are. We think tax laws are right now. We're having all of us. I mean, in truth, just making choices in this world to try to get ahead, to try to be happy, to try to be the American dream, and try to get through, to try to achieve. Those are all tax laws. Because in truth, we really shouldn't even shouldn't have an ethical level, but we don't want to be here. We would love to have the whole thing is about here. We don't want to be here. We want to escape. That's the key. We're not trying to stay here. We're trying to get the heck out of here. The Holy Spirit does not offer us a plan to stay here. It reminds me of somebody who once said, "God does not have a plan for your life. The only plan He has is to put a life vest on you. When the plane crashes, you can float."
Oh, I love that.
You know, and if you see it that way, I have a plan for your life. Well, tell me later when the plane's crashing. You know, do you have a life vest? So that's what he was a preacher. That's what he said the Bible was. The Bible was a life vest because the plane's crashing. So we look at Jesus, the Christ mind, the course as a life vest as the plane crashes, and then so you float when you hit the water.
Yeah,
Very
I don't know
good.
about the Bible. It seemed to me like
No,
the Bible.
I was saying that's where I heard it from. I heard it from a preacher.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. If you look at
Oh,
the Bible, it seems to be more of a
rock.
millstone around your neck that's gonna
Yes, yes,
make you
it's a rock.
sink and drown.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They have a chain on your leg. Help me, help me. That's a rock. But that's where I heard it from, and I immediately just translated it into the chorus. The Christ mind. It's just that instead of seeing that the Christ, because I've heard Ken Watling always used to say that just trying to be happy in this world is a speech spitting in Christ's face.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
So and when I heard that, and when I heard that other thing, I was like, yeah, just trying to be happy, just singing. You always hear them say, "God has a plan for your life. God has a plan for your life." And then with that announcement that I had, it was like, no, God has a plan for your life. The plan He has to put a life vest on you, so you can float when you hit the ocean. And it
Yeah.
was perfect. It was a good analogy. So when you have one of your water landings, yeah, George Carlin did water landing. When you crash into the flipping ocean, water landing.
Yeah. Not much of a landing.
No, no, no water landing. So that's the key. We want to get out of here. We don't want to stay. And
No.
because this is a fantasy, it's a hallucination. I mean, I have a podcast I should play here on Thursdays. It's called The Words We Use, and it goes into the four different words that we generally use to describe where we are. And one is delusion, one is delusion, delusion, hallucination, and dream. And how each one is slightly different. And of course, as students and teachers, we tend to use those words and how we tend to use them. So I had fun doing it. It was a fun little episode because I was improvising the concepts as I was going along, and so it kind of came through me, and it was just fun to do. But they are slightly different. Illusion is sort of the overall concept, I guess you could say. It's an overall thing. Everyone understands it, but there's not necessarily any story attached to it. We don't know if is it a good illusion, is it a bad illusion, is it dangerous? Are we in trouble? Did we do it on purpose? Are we here to play around, have a good time? Are we happy to be here? We unhappy? What's going on here? Why are we in this illusion? Delusion, though, says more, right? I mean, we're deluding ourselves. Uh-oh. Who's deluding? Why are we deluded? Why do we think, we're screwing ourselves over? So then we have hallucinations. Well, that says a lot, right? No one wants to be hallucinating. And I've hallucinated before, and very rarely do you want to be hallucinating. I mean, sometimes you can have a good one, I guess, but for the most part, you don't want to be hallucinating. This is a lot. And the dream is the perfect one because everybody dreams. Everybody dreams in real life in this world. Everybody goes to sleep at night and dreams, according to most scientists. That even if you forget your dreams, you're dreaming at night. You have to dream. And so everyone knows what a dream is. Everyone can imagine they're dreaming in this world. If someone says to me, imagine you're dreaming, I can look around this room and imagine that I'm in a dream right now. Easily. I can just say, imagine that I'm in a dream. Well, I'm sleeping right now. This is a dream, and I can imagine it. My whole system sort of works it into my imagination because I dream every single night of the week, my whole life.
Well,
You know,
yeah, you can imagine you're dreaming because imagine any story. Any story that you see. Today I was looking at the news and I saw that at the not Super Bowl, it's a football game the other day in Kansas City, I guess. Some guys were at this guy's house and the game was over, the party was over. The guy went to bed, three of his friends, I guess, who knows, we're going to find out eventually what happened, went out in his backyard and obviously didn't leave. And they were all three of them found like dead from hypothermia or frozen to death in his backyard. And they were there for 2 days. And he didn't even know they were dead. His three friends dead in the backyard. Now,
three of them, or I think one.
three of them, yeah.
That's
Three
crazy.
guys dead in his backyard and no explanation for how that happened. But of course, then the mind goes into all these stories. And
Right.
you think, oh, they were drunk, they were on drugs, he ignored them, he must have seen them, he didn't, all these stories, and people are writing all these comments about what they think about what happened. Well, it's a dream. This is as much of a dream. Um, he might as well have been in bed dreaming that, this had happened in his house because there's no explanation. I mean, obviously they're going to come up with an explanation, but it's just so bizarre.
Yeah,
How can you look at a thing like that and say, this world is real? It's just it seems so unreal.
you said that I was going to come up with an explanation. You said it reminds me of that Willoughby. You saw the Twilight Zone Willoughby, Next Stop
Hmm.
Willoughby. Do you remember that one? I
Yes.
think we played it. We played it here once years back. I played it in the room here, and Terry was in the room, and Cindy was in the room. We played it, and I think they also went home and watched it because it didn't come out too well here when I played it. But we all sort of talking about that for a while, and that's exactly what happened. If you remember, at the very end of that episode, he walked out of the train into the peaceful world of the 1800s. And he was so happy finally because he got out of the rat race that he was not functioning very well at all of the corporate world. His wife and him were not getting along. And finally, he got off of Willoughby, a stop that only he seemed to know existed. And he got off, and they were, "Hi, Mr. Johnson, we were waiting for you." And it was all peaceful and nice. And everything was quieter and nicer and slower and slower paced. And everything was wonderful. And he was obviously going to be happy for the rest of his life. Then they switched back to the train, and they go, "I don't know what happened. He got up and walked off the train to the tracks."
Yeah.
And that's what they saw.
That's what they saw.
Yeah, and
For him, he
his
just got
bad.
off and he was now home in his new home.
From his perspective, he didn't die. He went straight into the world of peace. So the fact that we see something doesn't mean that what I mean, everyone believes that. No one believes that. Most, I shouldn't say everyone, but most people believe in a heaven of some sort, afterlife of some sort. So when that's no one really thinks that we're seeing what's really happening after someone dies.
Right.
You know, if you said to someone, "Do you believe in heaven?" They'll probably say, "I believe in some sort of heaven or hell." I guess reward and punishment. Most people would say, "Yeah, I guess so." So when a person dies, you don't believe that's the end of it, right? And someone would say, most likely no. I guess there's more to it. So when a person dies, you're not seeing what's really happening.
Yeah. Yeah, there's and even if they die, quote unquote, die and come back, like they have a near death experience that they call it. I call it a near life experience that but you know they now the scientists have found that there's still brain activity for, you know, like 15 or 20 minutes after the body is dead. They've been able to like see, you know, things apparently happening in the brain. So they're thinking, you know, that's when people are having these um, whatever experiences that they're having. And that would make sense to me because there's no place but here and no time but now. So when we leave the world, um, like where do we go? We go into our own mind, which is the only place that really is anyway. And all of these things that people see and hear and the experiences they have, that's all it's all part of the illusion. It's the dream. So, you know, they're still dreaming the dream. And, you know, they come back and they say, you know, I saw my grandma and, you know, my dog Muffy and you know, the streets were paved with gold or I mean, there's so many stories. Everybody has a different story. Why is it? Because that's what's in their mind about the whole thing. It's not because that's the reality of it. And the course, the way that Jesus talks about the when we actually go into reality, we go into first the real world where nothing is happening. And there are no streets and no lights and no houses and nothing is happening there. And then through our true reality, there is no physical world at all to perceive, no perception, no. So uh, you know, in reality, if we go into our truth of as we are experiencing ourselves as God or as the Holy Son of God, nothing's happening. That's what the Course tells us. Nothing is happening. None of these things I think I'm seeing are really there. None of those thoughts I think it doesn't even exist. So where are these stories of the paved with gold streets coming from? You know, it must be coming from my own mind, my imagination, my story about what is.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, that's right. I was just watching that, I think yesterday. The guy was talking about how the brain lives on for a certain amount of time after the person's dead.
That's what I was just talking about.
Yeah, I know. I said that it was funny that you said that because I just was watching something about that yesterday.
Yeah, yeah,
It said and then what it does is they realize that there's a part of the brain that actually does go back, that your life does flash before your eyes, so to speak. And then you go past, you start at the beginning and you go past, your life flashes before your eyes. That's why everyone has a story like that, which would make sense, would make why everyone's a little bit different. Because everyone's viewpoint in life is a little bit different. You know, everyone has their own dream, so to speak. So everyone's taking a look at their lives and seeing their Muffy and they're seeing Buffy and they're seeing their mothers and their fathers and they're all seeing different point of views and they're all seeing how they saw things and then they're seeing their dreams about the future and their viewpoints about God and so forth. All those different. I mean, their life is a bunch of I mean, infinite number of moments. I mean, I know as an actor, one of the things I always realize is how many moments there are in my life that I can pull from. I mean, every single second and moment in your life is filled with so much pain and suffering and so much love and happiness. It's unbelievable.
yeah, yeah.
And like
And
go
we
ahead.
don't know.
No, we have no idea that. Most people don't know that because most people don't have the out that I've had my whole life to actually have to dig deep into your past and actually find stuff. I had this what I used to call the emotional prop bag. Right, so I should be. I keep my memories, in these bags, and not let them go away, so to speak. So I have them. So, in other words, most people don't want their baggage. I used to want my baggage. So that's why you always hear the joke that actors are more emotional because they keep their baggage with them. Yeah, so that's what I used to do. I used to keep my baggage with me. So to speak, I used to literally have a baggage. I have all this my emotional baggage right over here. It's where I keep it over here in the back of my mind, and so I would pull from it. And now I'm sort of channeling it all into. I'm not working as much on purpose, so I'm channeling. And also here, this is interesting. You talking about how there's no this world there's no actual conflict here at all. I found something on that same site, the miraculousliving.com. It is, by the way, put together by Paul West. I looked it up. Do you know Paul West?
Yeah, I know Paul. Yeah, I know Paul.
Uh, it
I've
is,
known him for a very long time.
oh, good, yeah, because he put together a whole bunch of books. I have one of his books actually, but I never met him or know anything about it. But he sure has put together a good website.
Yeah,
He
it's
put,
beautiful. I looked
yeah,
at that website.
did you?
Very nice.
It's cool, right? It's really cool.
Yeah.
He put together his blog here, and he put together and the state of conflict and the end of war is this blog. And he goes, in the oneness of God, there is no taking sides. There's only one side, and everyone's on it because there's no split. There is no war. The state of the absence of conflict is a state of peace. It's also very quiet because there's no war, no shrieks of terror, no invasion, and no destruction. The attack is not to know because it is an attack on knowledge, which is an attribute of peace. To attack is peace. To attack peace is not to know reality, and it is insane. Those who attack are unaware of who or what they are attacking, and attack in the darkness of their own minds. God is very quiet, for there is no conflict in him. Conflict is the root of all evil. For being blind, it does not know whom it attacks. The stillness of God is quiet and peaceful, because in reality there is only harmony and unity. In the separation from God, the tiny man idea introduced the idea some parts of existence could have something that other parts lacked. This provided the starting point for conflict. Isn't this great?
Yes. That's really good. Yeah.
And he goes on here, only when there is more than one side and the potential to decide against something, you have conflict of any kind. War is impossible without separation, specialness, selfishness, and isolation. To exclude is to attack. Heaven is the only realm of inclusion. I was, heaven is everywhere, and it's absolute inclusion. I said yesterday, you can't go anywhere where God's not. You can't run away. It's kind of like trying to run off the earth. You can't fall off the earth. You can't fall out of God. You're always going to be on the earth. You have a rocket ship or something. But you can't run off the earth. You can't run away from God. And
Yeah.
as soon as we added the idea of exclusivity, we entered into war. Ooh, that's a good quote. I like that. I should put that on. I should post that and credit to Paul West. As soon as we added the idea of as soon as we added the idea of exclusivity, we entered into war. That's cool, right?
Yeah. And that's very true. I mean, that's what the Course in Miracles says.
Yeah.
The
As soon as we
minute we
said
thought that there was something different, uh,
exactly.
it brought about a state that was um, could not be held by unity or reality. So there
Yeah.
has to be a war.
As soon as we added the idea of exclusivity in the war, we entered into war. This is when the war on God began and is not yet ended.
Yep.
All the history of space and time has been a state of a war. All the history of space and time has been a state of war. That's what I was saying before. That's what Ken was trying to get at. when he said everything you do here is basically you're waging war on God.
Yeah.
You know, everything you do, every smile you have, every joyful moment. And it's not, he wasn't saying don't do it. I mean, he tried to be happy. He went around trying to be miserable again. But what he was saying was, don't kid yourself. You know, you're not meant to be happy here. So if something goes wrong, don't get bent out of shape about it. He's the one that really enlightened me about what it means to say don't justify your anger. Anger is never justified. I used to think that meant you can't be angry. Don't even be angry. It's not justified. It's never justified to be angry. So you better suppress that anger. If you get angry, you're a bad course student. That's what I always thought. Anyway, I didn't say it that way, but I said I had good reasons why you should suppress the anger, and I found a lot of good reasons for it until I heard him say, "No, you're gonna get angry. Just don't justify it. Don't blame yourself, and don't blame others. Just accept it that it was there, and then it'll go away quicker." And then in my mind, oh yeah, so what he's saying is it was my Bumblecart story. You know, he was saying that like, you're gonna get angry, but justifying means it was not my fault. It was your fault. You know, it was my fault. You know, it wasn't my fault. It was your fault. Well, this is why I did it. I did it because of this. I did it because of that. And he said, you're going to say, he said, you have a psychotic break. You didn't do it because of that. You did it because you wanted to do it. You know, you're the cause. That's not outside of you. So don't justify it. He said, don't justify your anger. It's not justified. You put the anger out there for your own purposes. So get over yourself. Move on. And here's a whole, I used to have the quote on my, on a website that I used to have, and I lost completely. Somewhere on the web, I had like 25 years ago, 15 years, 20 years ago when I first started the quote. I think that was. That was very helpful, very helpful. And so that really solidified the whole bumper car story, the whole idea that things are going to happen the way they're going to happen, and don't justify negativity because you're the one who's putting negativity out there. So and when it says here you're the one, you should be changing your mind about what's going on out there. You should be really. I think what he's saying is that we're doing that anyway. It's our minds we're projecting or we're extending. But basically, what that means is that we're either conscious or we're unconscious of what we're doing. And if we're unconscious of it, if we're trying not to do it, if it's something from fear, then we're still projecting. If we're looking at it, our thoughts are still the cause of the effect, and it's still one thing. It's still inside of our minds. It's still happening the way it's happening. But if we don't know what's happening, we can't reap any rewards from it at all. It's a 50-50 chance of how it's going to turn out. And then life becomes a roller coaster that we have no idea that we're on. And nobody wants to be on a roller coaster if they're on it. Because that can be very dangerous. That can be very dangerous, I mean, that happens a lot to people. They're on a roller coaster and they have no clue they're on it. And they fall off, they get sick, and they get put back on it. You feel like you're on a roller coaster, but you had no idea?
I kind of felt like I was on a mystery adventure.
Well, that's cool. That's cool when you're on that. Well, actually, it's okay to be on a roller coaster. Once you realize you're on one, you can have more fun.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's when you don't realize you're on one, you feel sick, your life's overwhelming. You wonder why. One day you're happy, one day you're sad, and you start blaming yourself for this. You start trying to justify it. That's what it means. Like you're angry, you're sad, you have one day, and then you realize, wait a minute, I'm roller coastering right now because I'm blaming others instead of just giving up my attack thoughts. The only way out of fear. If I should let go of my attack thoughts, peace will enter in. And then everything kind of smooths. You know.
Yeah. And I was just reading what Ken had written about today's lesson. And let me see where that is again. He says, um, you find it here. oh, here, I posted it here in the room. What am I doing? Looking around. He says, the world we see is a world of death, vengeance, violence, pain, and suffering. It might also be described as a world of pleasure and happiness, but no pleasure and happiness in this world last. As they begin to fade, our anxiety and anger grow. Our specialness feels unfulfilled, and we inevitably experience pain. Jesus is teaching us now that the way to escape from this pain is not by doing anything in the world, but by changing how we look on the world. And so that's why the whole thing, I can give up the whole world I see by giving up attack thoughts. And, it's like once you figure out the reason something is happening, then like for instance, you're a kid and your teeth start coming in when you're a baby. You don't know that that's the reason you're having pain. You don't understand that, the teeth coming through is the reason that you're doing that, or that it's causing all that trouble. And you're anguished because of it. But with the teeth, once the teeth are growing in, then you can, eat a burger or something. You can eat things that you
Yeah,
wouldn't have been able to eat before. And so, all the anguish, the pain, the suffering, was for a purpose, and that was to bring about your ability to eat and be healthy. But then you get to be about, 5, 6, 7 years old, and these teeth start falling out.
yeah.
And you go through a whole
What was the
nother
point?
anguish of my teeth are falling out now.
What was Sisyphus? It's like Sisyphus
Yeah, yeah,
with the boulder up the hill.
yeah. It's just,
Every time you get to the boulder up the hill, and you're about to get, but yeah, I'm about to win. The boulder falls back down the hill.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
Then the next thing you're getting wisdom teeth and that's
Yeah.
hurting, and then you're getting your teeth, you're getting false teeth.
Yeah. And then you're dead. Then usually you start again as a baby.
Yep, there you go.
Usually, not necessarily always. Maybe next time I'm hoping not. I'm hoping to move on. I plan on moving on, but
Yeah.
up till now it's been baby again, baby again, baby again. That was what was so cool about Jesus. He reincarnated his own body.
Yes.
That's tough to do.
Yeah, but he projected that body. He made that body. That's what he wanted to show us. You're making this body you think you're experiencing right now. You think it's coming from someplace else. This is coming from your own mind. And it's all about, what it is that you came here to learn about. So, I know you have, health issues. I have health issues. We all have, I mean, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
I mean, the point, as you were just saying, is to get now the purpose to learn the lesson so that we don't come back in a body again. that, when we leave this world in this body, it's the end of it. And obviously, the course also tells us that that teachers who have passed out of the world are still hanging around to help us,
Yes.
to give us thoughts, to give us aid and assist us in many ways. So it's not like anybody goes anywhere. Every single one of us is working to dig us out of this hole.
Absolutely. Exactly. The Holy Spirit of Jesus is right here with us. There's nowhere else that there would be.
Yeah,
The right hand of the Father just means what Jesus ascended to. He descended into our hearts. He moved. It was total expansion into all of our minds and hearts. That ascension. It was almost like the word ascension could easily have just meant expansion. The expansion. Yeah, that's how when I hear the word ascension, I tend to think of it. That was when his mind expanded completely.
uh,
Yeah. He
Ego frustration.
Excuse me.
yeah. No, that was something else. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah,
your voice sounded very strange, something.
yeah. No, that was just something that popped on
Oh, okay, okay,
out of
yeah.
nowhere.
Um, I'm gonna end with this. I guess we've got 5 minutes left. And then I'll play a quick song if I have time. But this is just beautiful. It says, "You see the world which you have made, but you do not see yourself as the image maker. You cannot be saved from the world, but you can escape from its cause. This is what salvation means. For where is the world you see when? For where is the world you see when the cause is gone? Vision already holds a replacement for everything you think you see now. Loveliness can light your images and so transform them that you will love them even though they were made from hate. But you will not be making them alone. The idea of today introduces the thought that you are not trapped in the world you see, because its cause can be changed. The change requires first that the cause be identified and let go, so that it can be replaced. The first two steps in the process require cooperation. The final one does not. By taking the first two steps, you will see. In other words, and elsewhere, it also hits on the idea that you can see the world as a lovely place if you have the proper viewpoints and you change your mind and receive miracles, you can change your mind about the world and see it as a lovely place. You know, a place where you can receive, you have a lovely time here. You don't have to have a miserable time, even though, even while knowing. As a matter of fact, I found it much easier to live here knowing that we weren't meant to be here. That we screwed up. I mean, if you think about it, we invented the whole world. All the problems that we have, we invented. God didn't invent one of them. Not one of them. We invented capitalism. We invented communism. We invented fascism. We invented every single ism there is on the planet. We invented. You know, and all the problems above the earth, we invented. You name anything going on here in this cosmos, we are responsible. I mean, but God's saying right now, we have the power to change absolutely everything by changing our thoughts, and then the effects will change. You know, I mean, as I've always said, that if you change your mind, your viewpoint about the person will change, and then everything from that point changes on. It's almost like you're changing your point of view. I had a great example I wanted to share with you about that, but I'm not going to forget about it. But the best way is you change your mind about what you're seeing. It's almost as if, as I said, the best thing is to forgive the person for what they didn't do. And then the person might as well just be the most nicest, sweetest person in the whole world. Because what they didn't do, suddenly you realize that they've done nothing wrong. There's no crimes against them, no moral crimes. You're accusing them of nothing anymore. Nothing at all. And once you do it to the whole world, the world just becomes a learning place to learn who you are. And whether that's on watching TV or sitting around doing nothing, there's no right way to do that, because all you know is that you're raising your vibe. And as long as you raise your vibe up to a place where that your vibe will tell you what to do. And it might just say, sit around and do nothing for a couple of days, relax. All right, now go to the store. All right, now read a book. All right, now get up and get this job for a while. Who knows what it's going to tell you to do? It might tell you to go out and find someone, find a friend. Who knows what your high vibe will tell you to do? You follow that vibe, you follow that high vibe, you follow the Holy Spirit within. You have to get the right answer, because the Holy Spirit can never give you the right answer. Isn't that what it's supposed to do? And if you see yourself feeling good about the vibe, feeling good about the vibe, about the action, then you know you're on the right track.
Thank you so much, Rev Wayne.
I think I don't have time for much of a song, so we'll just call it quits here. God bless you all. I love you all, and peace to everybody. And I'll see you Friday next. No, Thursday. Friday. I had a blast. I suddenly had a throwback in my brain. I'll see you Thursday. What time is it? 12:30. It's 12:30, right? Yes, 12:30 to 1:30. So I'll see you 12:30 on Thursday. But until then, peace.
All right. Thank you, Rev Wayne. Were you going to play a song?
Oh no, I said I was going to play one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's
All right.
Monday.
I'm going to stop the live stream then.